What if everything you've ever known, your surroundings, the people you meet, even this very moment, wasn't something that simply happens to you, but something that responds to you? Not in a poetic sense, but literally. What if reality waits for you to look at it and only then decides what to become? You didn't just stumble onto this video, something in you brought it here. Because today, we're going to uncover something that shifts everything. A concept so strange, it made scientists question the very fabric of reality. And yet, so familiar that deep down, you've always felt it. It's called the observer effect. In the world of quantum physics, there's a mystery, a strange phenomenon where particles exist in all possible states until one thing happens. Someone observes them. Just by watching, the particle decides what it is. And this isn't science fiction, it's quantum mechanics. You may have heard of the famous double-slit experiment, light and matter behaving like a wave until measured. The moment it's observed, the wave collapses into a particle. Why? Because the observer, that's you, changes what's being observed. Let that sink in. In the smallest layers of our universe, reality doesn't exist independently. It depends on whether you're looking. But here's where it gets even more interesting. What if this doesn't just apply to electrons and photons? What if it applies to your life, to your choices, your thoughts, your awareness? What if your consciousness is more than just perception? What if it's the catalyst? Imagine, every time you focus on something, you're collapsing possibility into form, choosing a version of reality just by giving it your attention. You are not a passive participant in this world. You're a creator, one observation at a time. This is not metaphor, this is physics. But it's also something deeper, because for centuries, mystics have whispered what science is just now beginning to confirm. That consciousness isn't inside the world is inside consciousness. So, the question is no longer, what will happen next? The question is, what am I choosing to observe? And once you understand that, reality is no longer something to predict. It's something you can shape. To understand how you influence your world, we need to look at the science behind it. What exactly happens at the quantum level when we observe something? Let's break it down. Imagine a particle like a photon or electron moving through space. In classical physics, we'd expect that particle to follow a specific path with a clear and predictable outcome. But at the quantum level, things are far stranger. When you don't observe the particle, it behaves like a wave, spreading out and existing in all possible states at once. This is known as the wave function, an equation describing the probability of where a particle might be found. But the moment you observe it, the wave function collapses into a single state, as though the particle suddenly decides where it will be. This is called the observer effect. The famous double-slit experiment demonstrates this perfectly. When light or particles are shot through two slits without being observed, they create an interference pattern, like waves in water. But the moment someone observes which slit the particle goes through, the interference pattern disappears. The particle then behaves like a solid object, passing through one slit or the other. It's as if the act of observation forces the particle to choose a path. This is called the observer effect. The famous double-slit experiment demonstrates this perfectly. When light or particles are shot through two slits without being observed, they create an interference pattern, like waves in water. But the moment someone observes which slit the particle goes through, the interference pattern disappears. The particle then behaves like a solid object, passing through one slit or the other. It's as if the act of observation forces the particle to choose a path. This experiment shows us something profound. Reality doesn't exist in a definite state until it's observed. The universe at its core is a field of potential, and our consciousness plays a role in shaping that potential into what we experience as reality. It's not just the particles that respond to observation, it's the entire universe interacting with our awareness. Let's use a simple everyday analogy. Imagine you're walking through a dark forest. You can only see what's directly in front of you, but everything around you is still there, existing in potential. It's only when you shine your flashlight on an area that you bring it into existence, so to speak. Your awareness collapses the infinite possibilities into something tangible, just as an observer collapses a quantum field into a specific outcome. This is how your consciousness shapes the universe. Just like a flashlight reveals parts of the forest, your attention reveals parts of reality. What you observe, you bring into being. You may think you are merely watching reality unfold. But what if the act of observing is what brings that reality into existence? What if you're not a spectator, but the spark? Let's explore how you play a vital role in the creation of your world. In quantum physics, the observer is never neutral. Particles remain in a state of potential, existing in all possible forms until they are seen. The moment they're observed, they decide what to become. And what's true for particles might be true for more than you think. What if your consciousness doesn't just witness reality, but shapes it? Your focus, your awareness, your presence, they influence the world around you. Every time you direct your attention, you highlight one possibility and let others fade. This isn't abstract. Think of it like this. When you set a goal, you start seeing signs and opportunities that were invisible before. Not because they appeared out of nowhere, but because your observation brought them into view. When you truly listen to someone, the conversation deepens. When you give care to your surroundings, they respond. When you focus on your growth, your life shifts with you. Your environment, your relationships, your personal experiences, they all reflect back what you observe in them. You are the mirror, but also the light. So the question becomes, what are you choosing to see? Because what you observe is what becomes real. Claim your seat at the fire. Subscribe and keep the embers of transformation alive for you. Subscribing is not just about staying informed. It's about committing to your continuous alignment with the unfolding path. Your consciousness is not just a passive observer, but an active participant in shaping the quantum field around you. Let's look at how your awareness affects the world on a deeper level. In the realm of quantum physics, there exists a field of infinite possibilities. This is the quantum field, the foundation of all reality, where everything exists as potential, waiting to be observed and collapsed into a specific form. Imagine a vast ocean where every wave is a possible version of reality. Each wave represents an outcome, an event, or a possibility. When you observe something, you focus your attention on a specific wave, and it becomes real. The moment you direct your awareness, the wave collapses into a definite state, the reality you experience. This isn't just theory. This is how the universe operates at its most fundamental level. And this process happens continuously, in every moment. To understand this better, think of your consciousness as a camera lens. The world around you is like a blurry landscape, full of infinite possibilities. When you focus your attention, it's like adjusting the lens, sharpening your view and bringing certain details into clarity. The more you focus, the clearer the reality you observe becomes. But, like a camera, your lens can only focus on one thing at a time. So what happens when you shift your focus? You begin to perceive new realities. The more you direct your awareness, the more you shape what becomes real. Every moment contains infinite potential, and every time you choose where to place your attention, you're collapsing the quantum field into a specific experience. This is the power of consciousness. It's not a passive, detached observer. It's an active force in the universe, shaping the very fabric of reality. And what's even more incredible is that this potential exists in every moment. You have the ability to shift your focus and collapse the infinite possibilities into the reality you choose to experience. You are not simply reacting to the world. You are participating in its creation. Every thought, every choice, every shift in your awareness affects the quantum field, bringing your unique version of reality into being. Now that we understand the science behind the observer effect, let's dive into practical ways you can start using it to create the reality you desire. The observer effect isn't just a theory, it's something you can use right now to shape your life. Let's look at how. 1. Visualization. Your mind doesn't know the difference between something vividly imagined and something real. That's the trick. When you visualize a desired outcome with detail, emotion, and belief, you begin to collapse the wave of infinite potential into a singular, focused version of reality. Try this. Every morning, close your eyes for a few minutes. See yourself living the life you want, feeling the joy, hearing the sounds, being in that space mentally and emotionally. Make it real in your mind, and your energy will begin to align with it. 2. Meditation. Stillness sharpens awareness. When you meditate, you quiet the noise of external influence and bring yourself back to the observer's seat, the place where reality begins. Start simple. Sit in silence for 5 to 10 minutes a day. Breathe. Watch your thoughts pass without judgment. This practice trains you to become more aware of what you focus on, so that your attention isn't scattered but intentional. Because whatever you place sustained awareness on grows stronger. 3. Affirmations. Words shape belief. Belief shapes reality. Affirmations help reprogram your subconscious to expect and attract the reality you want. But here's the key. You must feel them as true. Say them with conviction. I am aligned with my highest timeline. Opportunities flow to me with ease. I observe abundance, and abundance flows to me. Repeat them daily, in the mirror, during your walk, or just before sleep. Over time, these words will shift your self-perception, and that shift will ripple out into your external world. These tools aren't magic, they're mechanisms of focus. They help you aim your awareness like a laser toward the version of reality you want. Because remember, you are the observer, and your observation is what makes it real. Your thoughts and intentions are powerful tools. The more you focus your awareness, the more you can shape your reality. Let's explore the power of focused attention. Your attention is a laser beam. Wherever you direct it, that's where energy flows. But the key to creating reality is not just about attention. It's about intention. Intention is the energy you infuse into your thoughts. It's the why behind what you do. When you combine focus with clear intention, you direct your energy toward creating the life you want. This powerful combination is the secret to manifesting. The power of focus. Focus narrows your attention to what's important. When you focus, you eliminate distractions, and your energy becomes concentrated. Think of it like tuning in to a radio station. If you're not tuned to the right frequency, you won't hear the signal clearly. But when you fine-tune the dial, you start receiving the information loud and clear. This is what happens when you focus your mind. Your energy aligns with the frequency of your goals, and reality begins to match that focus. The power of intention. Intention is the force behind the focus. It's like the engine driving the car forward. When your intention is clear, it acts like a compass, guiding your thoughts, actions, and decisions in the right direction. Without intention, focus can feel aimless. But when you set a specific intention, such as manifesting a new career, improving relationships, or building wealth, your energy moves directly toward that goal. Clear intentions don't just attract the desired outcome, they manifest it by aligning your thoughts, actions, and the world around you. The importance of clarity. The more specific your intention, the more effective it will be. For example, let's say you want to manifest financial abundance. A vague thought like, "I want more money," is unlikely to yield clear results. But when you focus on a specific amount, such as, "I am attracting $10,000 for my new business venture," you are giving your energy a direct target. When your intention is specific, you are creating a clear signal for the universe to respond to. The clearer you are, the quicker the manifestation process becomes. Consistency in intention. It's not just about setting an intention once and forgetting about it. The universe responds to consistent energy. When you stay aligned with your intention every day, whether through visualizations, affirmations, or purposeful actions, you strengthen the force behind your desire. Small, consistent actions combined with a strong intention bring fast results. Examples of focused manifestation. Think of someone who visualizes their dream job every day. They picture themselves in that role, feeling the satisfaction, hearing the conversations, and seeing the office environment. When their focus is matched by the intention to get hired, they begin to notice job postings they wouldn't have otherwise seen. They get networking opportunities that align with their career path, and soon they land the exact role they've envisioned. This isn't coincidence. It's the power of focused intention at work. In conclusion, when you align your focus and intention, you tap into the power of creation. You direct your energy toward what you want, and the universe responds. So ask yourself, what is your intention today? Where are you focusing your energy? Because whatever you focus on, you will create. As you begin to understand the role your consciousness plays in shaping your reality, it's time to expand your awareness even further. The more conscious you are, the more powerful your ability to manifest becomes. Manifestation doesn't only depend on thoughts or desires. It depends on the level of consciousness from which those thoughts arise. The more expanded your consciousness, the more access you have to the infinite field of possibilities. When your awareness is limited, your manifestations are often rooted in fear, scarcity, or ego. But when you elevate your consciousness through mindfulness, spiritual growth, and presence, you begin to create from clarity, alignment, and trust. You see beyond your current limitations. You begin to co-create with the universe, not from force, but from flow. Tools to expand consciousness. 1. Mindfulness. Being mindful means being present, truly here, in this moment. When you're mindful, you become more aware of your thoughts, emotions, and surroundings. You catch yourself before spiraling into fear or doubt. You begin to respond rather than react. Daily mindfulness, even for a few minutes, reconnects you to the now, and the present moment is where all power lies. 2. Meditation. Meditation is the gateway to expanded consciousness. When you sit in silence, you move beyond the noise of the mind and reconnect with your true self, the observer. Through regular meditation, you tap into the quantum field and align with higher frequencies like love, peace, and purpose. You don't have to meditate for hours. Even 10 minutes a day can radically increase your awareness and clarity. 3. Spiritual growth. This doesn't have to mean religion. It simply means evolving, becoming more connected to your inner truth. Reading wisdom texts, journaling, conscious breathing, being in nature, all of these expand your sense of self beyond the physical. As your spiritual awareness grows, you begin to manifest not just what you want, but what truly serves your soul's highest path. Expanded awareness equals faster manifestation. When your consciousness expands, you stop repeating the same loops. You begin to see choices where you once saw limitation. You take inspired action, not out of desperation, but from alignment. Manifestation becomes faster and more accurate because you're no longer acting from confusion. You're attuned to intuition. You notice synchronicities. You trust the process. The truth is, the more conscious you become, the more powerful your reality becomes. So the question is not just, what do I want to manifest? but rather, who am I becoming as I manifest? Because an expanded self creates an expanded reality.